Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me, for taking this time for yourself so that you can start taking control of your time and start taking control of your money. Yes, I said the word money. It just so happens that time is very much tied to money, and the way that we use our time is it's pretty much in correlation with how we're going to, how much we're going to be making in our businesses and how successful we're going to be overall. Now, I don't want to start there because that is, and I want to get to that part because I want to definitely offer to you what I promised, but I want to start from another place. Now, I honestly believe that everything in the world happens from desire. Everything that we want, everything that we want to achieve in our lives, everything that we want to create, it stems from a desire that we have as women, as mothers, as sisters, as beings. There's something inside of us that's actually calling us for more life, more beauty, more health, more connection with the people that we love, and a lot of the time, all of those things can be compromised because of the fact that we do not have a very good relationship with time. So I want to share with you a little bit about my story as to how I started, transforming my relationship with time, so that you can get a little bit of an idea as to what are some of the things that you can start doing today to start transforming your relationship with time. So just a little while ago, I would say about maybe almost 3 years ago, I started transforming my relationship with time after I read a beautiful book called The Big Leap, and I'm sure that many of you have read it. For whatever reason, I actually focused on the chapter on time rather than the other chapters because I knew how important time was, and I knew that if I didn't shift the way that I was dealing with time, then it was going to affect me going forward, and I wasn't going to be able to achieve the level of success that I wanted. So what I did to begin was that I started thinking about time in a different way, and I started becoming a friend to time rather than thinking all the time that time was against me, right? That I didn't have enough time, that I was busy, and that I couldn't get the things done when I wanted. And one of the things that it translated to was the fact that I was always late. I'm happy to tell you that today that is no longer the case. I am always on time, and it's interesting to me because the very few times that I have been late, either someone ends up being late as well, so I am on time, or it has actually been only like 2 or 3 times that I have ever been late in the past 3 years. So you can only imagine the transformation that I had to go through in order to achieve this level of relationship with my time. Now, I have recognized that, and one of the things that I was able to do was actually start saying things to myself that actually healed that relationship that I have with time. So one of the things was a mantra that I had going on in my head all the time, and I was actually speaking it out loud and then start living it myself by saying to myself that I have more than enough time, I have more than enough time. And over time, I would say, I think it was actually like 3 months, I found that I was no longer being late, and that I was able to feel that I had the time that I needed to create the things that I wanted to create without feeling that constraint in myself. Another thing that I did to honor my relationship with time was the fact that I gave time and time as energy. So energy, I gave energy and time only to those things that I actually felt were worth my time, right? So I didn't give energy to things that I felt obligated to, or I didn't give my energy to people that did not value it, right? So I was able to center and be sure that I was valuing time, honoring time, by making sure that my decisions were in alignment with that love and that honor that I had for it. And overall, that has transformed my whole life. And in my business, which is what you're here for, I'm guessing, it has changed everything, because I was able to go from, not making any money at all and starting out, because I did start about 3 years ago, to having all these wonderful women and clients come to me and work with me, and especially lately, a lot of them seeking that support with time as well. So that's why I'm here. I want to give you some of that so that you can then also heal your relationship with time. So I want to jump into what I wanted to share with you in this video primarily, and that is that the main problem that I find with women entrepreneurs and freedom seekers, right? The women entrepreneurs, the reason I'm guessing, and I am pretty certain that this is the case for you, because most of the women that are attracted to me, like you, they have the same MO, so to speak, right? You decided to become an entrepreneur because you were seeking a certain amount of freedom, and a certain amount of freedom with time, right? And the idea of a schedule, the primary issue that I see with women like you is, and like me, like I was at the very beginning, is the fact that the idea of a schedule feels like contrary to that desire, right? The desire that we had to have more freedom. And it is the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite. And it's a mindset shift that needs to happen in you in order for you to start seeing the difference between the two. So the difference for someone that does not want to be tied down by the time, by their schedule, right, their calendar, is someone that will very likely be very disorganized. They don't have a plan, right? They don't have a structure, and they don't have control of their time. So they don't know where things need to be, how much time you actually have to fit things in to your schedule, and how much energy you need to give to those things, right? So the opposite of that being the actual freedom that you can get from having that structure set. The freedom that you can get is the fact that if you know exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, and why you're doing it, and you actually sit down once a week and you create your schedule in full, you're able to have the freedom of not having to worry, not having to stress. And you know that you can create time in your 24 hours of the 7 days and the 365 days a year. You can actually create a time for self-care, a time for relationships, a time for friends, for lovers, for your children, a time for your business, for you to create your next launch, for you to reach out to that next client. You actually have time, and all of those things are put in place so you know where everything goes, and you have the freedom to take your vacations, to not feeling behind all the time, to not feeling stressed all the time, to not feeling busy all the time, to not staying up until like 4 in the morning all the time, right? And that's also a pattern, like you're not taking very good care of yourself because you're not giving yourself the time to actually take care of yourself. So with that said, I actually want to invite you to pick this up, and give yourself the opportunity to sit down once a week with a blank sheet of paper for a schedule and write out what your week is going to look like based on your priorities. And you're going to see very shortly that if you continue to follow that calendar that you have created for yourself, if you continue to do it, you're going to see how much freedom you have, because there's no worry. There's no worry involved. You're going to have even more time to rest, even more time to replenish, to take care of yourself, to be out with your friends, because everything will have a time and a place, and you will have even more freedom to to do the things that you want to do. So I'm going to leave you with that, and in the next video I want to share with you some of the structures that I've put in place in order for you to create an even more abundant business and life. You want to check back in tomorrow, because that is going to completely blow your mind, and it's going to help you in making sure that you're making the most out of your time. Until then, I will see you very soon. Bye.